So if we get a straight edge, I don't know if this is straight enough, but we can run in and we can see, if you see this here, if it hits there, that means we're not flush. It's not flush. So this doesn't match the height of this, right? Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Kyle with KBG Welding. We are, I want to go over a little project that I had to do as a weld test today. It's hard to cover everything. When we talk about welders, when we're doing an interview, we're doing an interview weld test. It is hard to find and get everything that's applied in one test, 1 hour, couple of hours, whatever it might be, longer. I know branch tests on pipe, those probably all day projects. So, and maybe more, I might stand corrected because I've never done one, but those might be multiple days. So, but what happens is when we're dealing with some of this stuff, you can learn a lot from different applications. So I like to throw some things out that aren't the norm, but just, they have some tells, because with experience, you just learn a lot of stuff. You can pick up things throughout your experience if you're around some good people that, I say good people that train well, that have the knowledge, okay? And if you pick that up, man, you learn to apply it, and it just becomes second nature. Things that you look for in some of the smallest of things. So we're gonna go over a weld test that was done today, and I just want to point out some things on it. All right, so we have this drop. We just have some 5x5 square tubing that's it's 5/16 thick, and it's here in the shop. So what I wanted to do is just, hey, let's stitch this together. Now, obviously, we can't use this for a structural build, and it's drop. We'll get some use out of it, maybe for some stanchions or some standoffs for staircases, because we do have some staircases coming up. But the other thing is, I just wanted to show and see what this weld test would get done. So what I wanted to see, and what it shows me right here, is one, quality of the weld, but also what's their process. What's the process of doing it, and what is their level of expertise on this. Now, I can't totally tell. Looks like he might have got 4 tacks. There's 1 tack, maybe 2 tacks. Small bevel. I don't think that's not material thickness. That's not half material thickness there. So the bevel wasn't quite there. So, you're just looking for detail, looking for details of this weld and how it plays out. So a little cold here, good over here, but we got cold on this side. I'm not totally sure why that would happen, but it did. So that's what it is. So those are obviously the weld in itself, but also in what we do, it's not just the weld, we also have the application. So if we get a straight edge, I don't know if this is straight enough, but we can run in and we can see, if you see this here, if it hits there, that means we're not flush. It's not flush. So this doesn't match the height of this, right? So that's one of the big things that I like to do, because I like to see the experience of that. And it's not necessarily that we're going to be doing these stitches all the time, but what it tells me is that they don't have that experience to see this and to know that, because of the instruction was weld this, give me a good weld, but this needs to be straight. This needs to be consistent. You need to know, or if somebody walked up to this, if we ground this down, that this was the same, this was one tube, this wasn't one piece. Now we can look inside and see that it wasn't, but from the outside, we want to show that this was one piece. So it being offset there, it's offset probably everywhere. So right there on this one, we're way offset. So that's how much off we are on that one. So that's two things. The third thing is if we look at the inside. So the first thing that I'm looking at are the seams. When you're stitching up tubing, when you're stitching up material, line up your seams. So we have a seam over here. It's a factory seam, right? How they make steel. And so this piece, that's where the seam is. Well, you can't see it over here. I can't focus. Yeah, we can focus back there. If you focus back there, you can see the seam in the dead center. Well, it's on the opposite side. So this side is a seam here. On the other tube, it's on the right side. So that is one way. If they don't always match, but if they come off the same mill, which this stuff came off the same run, they should fit up. Some are going to be, if it's different, it can be on the same side, but seam might be here or at a different place. But this one, it comes from the same material. So that is one tell that if you learned from a good experienced person, or if you have plenty of experience, that's something that you should know. Those are a couple things. Again, clamping and whatever you need to do to get this straight. When you tack it out, this should be straight. This should, there should be no change of elevations anywhere on this. So those are three of the things that we look for when we're dealing with material, when you're dealing with welding. Again, welds could be better. We had some real good welds, but we were able to, I didn't have it in a stationary position. He was able to roll it and move it around. But ultimately, what I did not see was consistency and attention to detail. So that's that's to be considered on whether it's a hand that can work or not. But again, those would be things that have to be addressed, and we'll see from that. But I just want to show you those things. So three things to look for. One, look for good welds and good weld experience. KBG Welding, server guy, burner rods. Hey, what's up, y'all? So we're looking at a 5x5 by 5/16 tubing. It was a weld test today. You can learn a lot from different applications, just kind of see what's going on, what the skill level, experience is from a welder or for anybody. You just have to throw different things. It's hard to cover everything in a simple weld testing interview, especially when our span of work is so broad.